This is QTV News coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Andy Kema. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. Following allegations of corruption and abuse of office and filing of a petition in 2020 by some GT Board staff against the GT Board management, the Director General of the Gambia Tourism Board appeared before a National Assembly Standing Committee. Addressing the ongoing 147th Inter-Parliamentary Union General Assembly in Luanda, Angola, the Gambia's Deputy Speaker Sidi SK Njai called for action to end the Israel-Gaza war. The African Solidarity Fund delegation currently in the Gambia through the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry met business owners to produce and discuss their work. In international news, detained Senegalese opposition leader Ousmane Sonko, who resumed a hunger strike 8 days ago, is now allegedly in a critical condition. In sports news, Gambian teenage forward Yankuba Minteh suffered a hamstring injury and may miss Gambia's 2 upcoming World Cup qualifying matches. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. Following allegations of corruption and abuse of office and filing of a petition in 2020 by some GT Board staff against the GT Board management in the award of contracts, land allocations and other issues, the Director General of the Gambia Tourism Board, Abubakar S. Kamara, appeared before a National Assembly Standing Committee on Wednesday. QTV's Mamadou Lamin Choi was at the National Assembly and he now reports.
The Director General of the Gambia Tourism Board is appearing for the second time before the National Assembly Standing Committee on Public Petitions. The committee's hearing is chaired by Suebu Toure, the National Assembly member for Woolly East. The GT Board DG Abubakar S. Kamara is asked about the state of progress of works at the Eco Lodge project at Bara, Konkiling Forest and Sotoma Samba in the North Bank, Central River and Upper River regions respectively. Although works are at an advanced stage in the 3 ecologies, the GT Board is unhappy with the contractor's performance.
Personally and everybody, we are not the least happy with the way the contract is going. Of course, like any other person, our pride would have been that the projects were ready and delivered for the benefit of the country, the benefit of the places where these ecologies are located. But toward this May, it was not what we are realizing. In fact, I'm sure you will have realized from the media or from your investigation that at some point they wanted to take the guy to court. We sued him in court because of our frustration. But he went and started negotiation, calling everybody that let us give him another chance so that he would deliver. And from consultation with legally and others, they said court cases may last a long time. So as a result of that, we are obliged to negotiate because at the end of the day, we want to see the products delivered.
2 years ago, the Minister of Tourism laid the foundation stone for the construction of 3 ecologies in the 3 regions. The idea, according to the Minister, is meant to decentralize and promote domestic tourism across the country. The contract was awarded to a construction company called Lair Group. The project is a subject of inquiry because the petitioners had flagged corruption in the awarding of the contracts to Lair Group. Members of the committee had visited the project sites and observed an additional construction work on what appears to be a story building. The chair of the committee raises a question on this matter, and here is a response from DG Kamara.
I said when I took over, he came to me, the contractor. He said, wanted me to sign another agreement. I said, agreement? No way. The only agreement that I am here to talk to you about is the agreement that was signed earlier. So I am not in the position to sign any other agreement. He said he was told by the previous administration that he needed to do a hotel, to turn the place the hotel. I said, well, in my handing over from Hydra to me, I even asked a question, and Hydra said he was supposed to do ecologies, not hotel. So as I said, and I'm not in any position to sign any addendum.
Part of the petition in the hands of these NAMs from some staff members of the GT Board relates to the redeployment of GT Board staff to rural parts of the country. The petitioners accused that some of them have been redeployed as a punishment for speaking up to corruption and malpractices at the GT board. Here's an answer from the Director General.
We cannot sit in Banjul and do our best to promote in your own community. So that's the reason why we decided to deploy these people. You don't need any sophisticated thing to realize that the strategic plan is driving us to a culture center tourism. You cannot promote culture without getting into the hinterland.
More officials from the Gambia Tourism Board and the Tourism Ministry have testified before the Public Petition Committee on this matter. We hope to bring you more testimonies in the coming days. Mahmoud Lamin, QTV News.
Addressing the ongoing 147th Inter-Parliamentary Union General Assembly in Luanda, Angola, the Gambia's Deputy Speaker, Sidi Eskenjai, called for concrete action to end the Israel-Gaza war, which he said has resulted in the killings of thousands, including women and children. Aliou Cisse has more.
Representing the Gambia, Deputy Speaker Sidi Eskenjai is leading a delegation in Luanda, Angola, to participate in the 147th Assembly of the Inter-Parliamentary Union. Members of the Union are discussing how to make public institutions more effective, accountable and representative, and how to empower parliaments to better handle the complicated and interconnected geopolitical, economic and environmental crisis currently facing the world. The Parliament is also discussing how to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and other wars. Sidi Eskenjai, Deputy Speaker of the Gambia's National Assembly and head of the Gambia's delegation, said the theme of the session, Parliamentary Action for Peace, Justice and Strong Institutions, comes at a time when the world is witnessing one of its worst inhuman massacres and human rights violations in Palestine.
Thousands of innocent women, children and civilians are being killed by the hour. Religious buildings, hospitals, schools and public places been destroyed as a result of the horrific, indiscriminate and barbaric airstrike bombardments in the Gaza Strip by Israel, in total disregard of international law and all United Nations resolutions.
He told the Assembly that not all Gaza residents are Hamas and called for the people of Palestine to be allowed to live in their land as a sovereign nation and people and in line with the two-nation solution approach.
While we are busy engaging in empty rhetoric, thousands continue to endure suffering and are being deprived of basic necessities like food, water, electricity, basic medicines, and shelter. This is atrocious and inhuman. In Gaza, humanitarian aid is sought. The world must stand resolute and take decisive action to end the war in Palestine, and as well end the hypocrisy and politicization of the United Nations Security Council's veto power and act more responsibly to avert global catastrophe. I call on all parties in this catastrophe to respect and act in accordance with international law and avoid further killings of civilians, and all previous United Nations resolutions on Palestine and Israel be respected.
According to Honorable Njai, the IPU must stand up and challenge Israel to stop the killings and call for the UN Security Council to act accordingly. On the home front, he shared with the Assembly that the Gambia's constitution guarantees the complete separation and independence of institutions of the state.
Since the change of government in 2017, His Excellency the President, Mr. Adama Barrow, has worked towards complete autonomy of the Parliament to strengthen both its financial and political independence to effectively carry out its core mandate. Fortunately enough, the Parliament has acted as a crucial partner in the implementation process towards achieving targets of our National Development Plan. Currently, the government is up to task to ensure that the security sector reform is on course to consolidate our peace, stability, justice, and democracy, guaranteeing sustainable peace.
The IPU is the global body of 130 national parliaments. It empowers parliaments and parliamentarians to promote peace, democracy, and sustainable development. On Friday, delegates will vote for the next IPU president to be filled by an African. Candidates from Senegal, Tanzania, Malawi, and Somalia are contesting the position. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
The African Solidarity Fund delegation currently in the Gambia through the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry met business owners in the Gambia to introduce and discuss their work. Jennifer Sonko tells us more.
Created in 1975 with 21 member states, the African Solidarity Fund was developed to contribute to economic development and social progress of its African member states. The fund mainly focuses on facilitating resources necessary for the realization of investment. The Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry brought together business owners to introduce the fund to them. The Director General of the African Solidarity Fund elaborates.
We work mainly with private sector, with banks and private sector, financial markets and investors. We have three main products. The first one, which is very prominent, is guarantee. We use guarantee to permit people to access to financing. Those guarantees are provided in benefits of SMEs, big enterprises, micro enterprises, microfinance institutions.
Emerging and developing economies have a growing interest in access to finance and financial inclusion, as inadequate access to finance remains a major obstacle for many aspiring entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. Here is Sarah Tokonate, CEO, Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
At the level of GCCI, every time we do a survey at the end of every year, access to finance happens to always feature as one of the key challenges for doing business in the Gambia. Whether it's accessing it here or internationally, whether it's affordability or availability, it's still lamented as a challenge.
The Gambia has recently introduced a financial market for the first time, and risk management has been one of the major concerns. The African Solidarity Fund offers guarantees that cover the risk incurred by the investors or lender in the context of operations to raise resources on financial markets. What is the perception of business owners having now understood the role of the ASF? Here is Ibrahima Senghor of GQuiz.
I think that the guarantee system that they have can help a lot, but I don't see that it can help a startup scene more for the SMEs. We need to find more funds or companies or investors that are willing to actually invest in the Gambian tech ecosystem, which we hear a lot of stories about, and we see a lot of these major corporations or funds often invite us to these events and these conversations, but nothing happens at the end of the day. So I think it has to be focused more on the tech scene, because that's the space that actually make an impact in masses and can mass spread very fast.
The African Solidarity Fund aimed to become a strong and innovative Pan-African institution at the service of the structural transformation of member states by 2025. The Gambia joined in June of this year. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Osonko.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more local, international and sports news. Do stay with us.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network.
Welcome back. This is QTV News. As part of its strategic plan 2022 to 2026, the Gambia Maritime Administration on Tuesday held a sensitization forum on the mandate and activities of the administration, targeting various government ministries. QTV's Mam Shekangom reports.
The collaboration and support of their stakeholders is an integral part of the GMA strategic plan. And this session is to also sensitize stakeholders on maritime safety and security as well as the protection of the maritime environment. Ibrahim Eba, Communication Manager at Gambia Maritime Administration, explains some of the thematic areas of the sensitization forum.
Monitoring of maritime activities is with respect to pollution from ships of our waters. We are working with our partners, and that is the Gambian Navy. They are the people on the ground that usually do this, and it is in close collaboration with us. And this monitoring, as far as Gambia Maritime Administration is concerned, is with regards to pollution, to ensure that ships that enter our waters do not pollute our waters. Or if there are incidents, then we would have to respond in collaboration with all the partners that are concerned to make sure we address such marine pollution incidents, like illegal discharge of waste in our waters. That is our area. If there is maybe an accident and there is some oil spill, that is also our area.
Mariama Fufana, Principal Assistant Secretary representing the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, underscores the importance of the Gambia's maritime sector.
The Gambia is a maritime nation and is heavily dependent on shipping, with over 80% of the country's goods imported through shipping. This has made the maritime sector a significant component of the country's economy. The maritime sector is an international industry that is highly regulated, and standards are set for all IMO member states without discrimination. This places obligations on us as a country to meet these standards and enable us participate in the maritime industry to fulfill our trade needs and safeguard our marine environment. The implementation of GMS mandate cannot be done in isolation. Hence, the need for this gathering to build greater understanding of our work and enhance collaboration with our government to help us realize the country's maritime regulatory requirements set by the IMO.
The Communication Manager, Mr. Ba, highlights some of the challenges faced by the Gambia Maritime Administration, including resources and equipment challenges, to enable them adequately patrol our waters. To sustain the administration, Mr. Ba said they raise revenue through shipping activities like charging levies on ships that enter our waters. He appeals to the public, stakeholders and actors in the maritime industry to protect our marine resources and environment, and to respect the rules and regulations that govern their operations in our waters. For QTV News, I am Mam Shengom.
We will now shift our attention to news outside the country. Detained Senegalese opposition leader Ousmane Sonko, who resumed a hunger strike 8 days ago, is now allegedly in a critical condition, with one of his attorneys making an urgent plea to President Macky Sall to intervene. Lena E. Igwenyiba has the rest of the story.
Ousmane Sonko, who intends to contest the upcoming February elections, suffered a coma on October 23rd but regained consciousness the same day, as confirmed by his attorney. His attorney say that despite regaining consciousness, he remains weak and is now in intensive care. Lee expressed deep concern about Sonko's deteriorating health and urgently appealed to President Macky Sall to take action, emphasizing that the head of state has the means to resolve this crisis. Sonko initiated a hunger strike in July 30th, which he temporarily suspended on September 2nd following the request of influential religious leaders. However, he resumed the strike on October 17. Sonko's legal troubles have been ongoing for the past 2 years, including his arrest and imprisonment in July on various charges, such as incitement to insurrection, involvement in a criminal association related to a terrorist organization, and undermining state security. Following this conviction, his name was removed from electoral list. Although a judge in Ziguinchor recently ruled against his removal from the list, it is uncertain whether he will be allowed to run in the elections next year. The General Directorate of Elections has refused to provide him with sponsorship forms, citing the non-final nature of the judge's decision. Sonko has repeatedly accused President Macky Sall of attempting to exclude him from the ballot through legal means, an accusation that the president has denied. President Sall, in July, announced that he would not seek a third term, ending speculation about the constitutionality of such a move. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Igwenyipa.
Now, let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. Gambian teenage forward Yankuba Minteh suffered a hamstring injury that will likely keep him on the sidelines for at least 4 weeks. He is out for Gambia's 2 upcoming World Cup qualifying matches. Mamoudou Gajaga has more.
Feyenoord Rotterdam announced that Yankuba Minteh will be out for several weeks due to a muscle injury, which the 19-year-old Newcastle United signing picked up in Feyenoord's 4-0 victory against Vicente on Saturday. While at the time it wasn't confirmed what injury he suffered, Gambia's national team coach Tom Sanfield says they were contacted about the injury.
Yeah, I was watching last weekend the game of Feyenoord of Yankuba Minteh. I was watching live on TV, and I saw that he got injured on the hamstring. He tried a little bit longer, and I think that was not the right decision. It was better if he had immediately stepped out of the game with hamstring injuries, and for sure, explosive players like him, it's always very sensitive. I had contact immediately after the match with Yankuba. At that time, he said it was not too serious, but by Monday, our medical team got informed by the medical team of Feyenoord to say that he will be 3 to 5 weeks out.
Yankuba Minteh has been in blistering form for Feyenoord, where he's on loan from Newcastle, who signed him earlier in the summer. In 9 Eredivisie matches so far, he started in 5 and come on as a substitute in 4, scoring 3 goals and 1 assist. He also played in 2 Champions League fixtures against Celtic and Atletico Madrid. Giving his excellent club and national team form, his injury is a big blow to the Gambia ahead of their World Cup qualifiers against Burundi and Cote d'Ivoire.
And that's a sad loss. Yankuba is a fantastic personality, but also a fantastic player and a big asset in our group. And it looks that he will be not available for our World Cup qualifiers against Burundi and Ivory Coast. We have still a little bit hope, but that's very limited. And the most important is naturally that he gets fit before the Africa Cup, because we need him. But it's for sure a sad loss.
Minteh already showed his value to the team in making an impact on his debut in the Gambia's last AFCON qualifier, scoring the first goal in a 2-2 draw against Congo, a result which sent Gambia to their second consecutive AFCON tournament. The Gambia faced Burundi and Cote d'Ivoire in November's World Cup qualifiers. Mamoudou Gajaga, QTV News.
Yankuba Minteh giving us a scare there, but we pray that he feels better soon. Before we end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. An abuse of office and filing of a petition in 2020 by some GT Board staff against the GT Board management. The Director General of the Gambia Tourism Board appeared before a National Assembly Standing Committee. Addressing the ongoing 147th Inter-Parliamentary Union General Assembly in Luanda, Angola, the Gambia's Deputy Speaker CDS Kenjai called for action to end the Israel-Gaza war. The African Solidarity Fund delegation currently in the Gambia through the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry met business owners to introduce and discuss their work. In international news, detained Senegalese opposition leader Ousmane Sonko, who resumed a hunger strike 8 days ago, is now allegedly in a critical condition. In sports news, Gambian teenage forward Yankuba Minteh suffered a hamstring injury and may miss Gambia's 2 upcoming World Cup qualifying matches. That's all we have for you in this edition. Well, please don't forget to get interactive with us on social media by following us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at QTV Gambia. Thank you very much for watching. Join us at 10 for more news.